All right, folks, as you've seen from the title, this is me putting my Psa Jakl straight head to head with the Scar, I believe the 17S. Now, a couple things to keep in mind with this. Off the rip, I was using a higher caliber for the Scar, the 308. That's the only one they had available to rent, as well as my Psa Jakl was in 5.56 223. Psa Jakl needs to drop the 308 Psa Jakl. That would be pretty dope. Anyways, by the way, the ACOG site on this was very nice and right on target, but I have to give this to the Psa Jakl for a couple reasons. Number one, the felt recoil and the just the felt action that I felt on the Psa Jakl was way lighter. It has that tunable gas, and it has about 6 or 7 settings, I believe. I actually had to adjust it, which was my only malfunctions with the Psa Jakl, was me having to adjust the gas because I actually had it all the way closed instead of all the way open, I believe. Or it might be vice versa, I don't know. Either way, once I adjusted it, I got it to work, and I ran about 600 rounds through the Psa Jakl. Whereas the Scar, it was so much recoil, and I could feel the bolt basically punching me every time because it's so heavy that, I don't know, I think that goes with the reliability of the Scar. The muzzle brake sucked and was just bad for everybody. Mind you, I was in the range by myself at this point, me and my boy Cello, and I'm gonna link his channel, by the way, in the video. But we both agreed that the Psa Jakl was worlds ahead of this. The Scar on the stock on the Scar actually sucked, real clunky, and for me it was actually uncomfortable. And the bolt was going back so violently that it was just basically jabbing the stock into your shoulder, and you can kind of hear. I'm gonna post the video separate. But you can hear after you shoot it, so it's like the bolt is going back so violently, and then it's going forward so violently that it's actually pulling you with. It's like a weird action that you can, I don't know, people probably can get used to it, but I can't. It was a very weird felt recoil for sure. Whereas the Jakl was just, you can't feel the bolt at all. It basically feels like a little nudge on the stock, nothing at all really. And another thing was the handguard had my hand placement like really short, really tight on the Scar. It needs more rail space for sure. And I know they do make aftermarket rails for the Scar, but that's just something that you would have to invest more money into this $5,000 plus rifle already. Whereas the Jakl, it would cost like what, 50 more bucks for a longer rail if you're getting the like literally you can buy 4 Jakls for the price of one Scar, which leads me to my next point. The price is just crazy on the Scar. I don't know why. I want to say that it's basically because they got a military contract, and with that comes a price point, an increased price point. And if I had my way, I would put the Jakl against the Scar, against the ACR, and against the MCX Spear. And honestly, I believe that the Psa Jakl would come off on top. Not on those super sturdy rugged tests, but I will say this: the Scar didn't have no malfunctions. It did lead to its reliability. They both really had no malfunctions once I adjusted the gas on the Jakl. And I believe that the heavier bolt and the heavier action on the Scar leads to its increased reliability. So like, let's say you got a rock or something stuck in the action and something like that. I think that heavy, violent jerking is actually going to help get whatever debris or whatever that is in there. And I think it's going to last longer with the fouling on it. Definitely got to clean the Psa Jakl and oil it and stuff more, but that just comes with that platform, Now look how smooth. You seen how sharp the recoil was. Like, you can see the sharp recoil on the Scar. Now just look at this footage that I have once I got the gas adjusted on the Psa Jakl. That thing is barely moving. I mean, and I think the only movement I really have is from the bolt. Actually, you know, that comes with every AR. Really, the only movement you really have is from the bolt going back and forth. But because the bolt is a little heavier in this, it does actually reduce the recoil on this action, because it's not as heavy as the Scar's bolt. That's a chunky boy in the Scar. And no matter the caliber, because I know a lot of people are going to say the 5.56 Scar is not as heavy. No, it is. It is. The 308 is slightly heavier overall, but that attributes to my point. Just look, that thing is barely rising. I was able to keep the dot directly on target. It never really moved, and yeah, that thing was, it was barely jumping at all. Now the muzzle brake on the Scar, I don't know what it is, but I would say that it kind of reminded me more of a flash harder than a muzzle brake. I know this is actually a JMac dedicated muzzle brake, so I can say that lends to the Jakl. Also, there's multiple options and stuff. This is the pin and wheel 13.7. I know that you can also get different options for the Scar, but again, that's leading more into the price. The better options you want for the Scar, the more you're gonna have to pay. And with a price point of about $5, you would think you would have a decent price, a decent set point off the rip for that much money. But I think it lends just more to the military contract, in my opinion. Now, the Scar did beat me on the red dot, but of course they had the freaking ACOG on there. But this is just a compilation of a couple different shooting footages, so stay tuned for this. I was pretty proud of this when I made this. That's me shooting the right and the middle, and then you can see I did have to put a glove on because it did get pretty hot. Also, my boy Cello did put the glove on. It wasn't hot, but he was already shooting with the glove, so he wanted to get more practice with this. He's never done nothing like this, but yeah, it was shooting pretty well. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about this this type of shooting footage compilation. I've never done nothing like this, but it took me a while to edit this together. But let me know what you guys think. Also, I think his is jumping more because he doesn't have his whole body into the stock, but we're working on it, you know. Everybody learns at their own pace and everything like that, so cut my boy some slack, you know. But yeah, you can see I put that middle one in there just to show you that it's barely jumping at all. Like, if I had a line right there, you would see it's not moving at all. And it's kind of crazy to even say. Like, I was so unhappy when I recorded this because I'm like, I don't have enough footage, but you know, I got the right footage that I needed. I got just enough to where you can see that thing is not moving. It's not moving nowhere. It's not jumping, nothing. And I was shooting steel case Tula, you know, just the regular everyday, you know what I mean? But the Scar, that thing was jumping on all the footage that I have. I could not get that thing to sit flat, worth nothing. Now, let me know if this was a fair comparison. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. Stay tuned for more. We do got more coming up. But I do like the Scar. It is just really violent, and the price of the Scar and the ammo is just too much. I can't bear it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Peace.